This is the Healey Brothers Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Healey Brothers Pod. It's Brian Healey. I'm with Jeff Alpert, the partner of Composition Wealth Management. Did I get that right?
You got that right.
All right. We're here today just to talk mainly about warranties, what a warranty is, and vehicle service contracts. What this means to our customers and why they're beneficial. So could you just do not a deep dive, but a general overview of what is a vehicle service contract? I think most of our customers would recognize the term extended warranty, but that's actually an incorrect term. And let's just dive into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you having me on. It's good to be here. The vehicle service contract, really, as the customer, there's so many parts on these cars, and not everything is covered by that manufacturer's warranty. So when you put that vehicle service contract on the car, you're really just trying to make sure that you have coverage for everything on that vehicle. So as we'll get into, there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to do that. There's a lot of reasons why you'd want to work directly with the dealership that you bought that car from, as opposed to going to an external provider. I'm sure we all see those commercials on television.
CarShield.
CarShield.
My son will say, "Oh, Dad, that's a CarShield commercial." And
Yeah.
Stop it.
Even worse, you get the phone calls, right? And it used to be you got a phone call, at least it was from a real person. Now it's AI.
Yep.
I can't tell if the people are real or not, but our unique vantage point is we manage the money within these companies. So we get to see all the dealers nationwide work and run their programs. We get to see the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. So having worked with the Healeys for quite some time, I think it'll be interesting for people to see how you guys run the program and how it's to the benefit of the customers.
So let's get into what is the difference between going to a national company like CarShield, which spends millions of dollars on advertising, but may not have the customer-facing advantages that purchasing one through a dealership that has the ability to manage those in-house.
So let's just think about insurance. How many people have probably filed an insurance claim and you're fighting with your insurance company? You get in a car accident, you get rear-ended, and now you're fighting with your own insurance company for it to get paid. Why is that? It's because insurance companies make money by literally not paying claims. Yeah. That's their business. They collect insurance premiums and they try to pay as little of that out as possible. So now when the Healeys are the ones that can collect the premiums, but decide, hey, we're actually going to pay out claims to take care of the customer, you've totally flipped that equation. So that's really the difference between working with someone like the Healeys versus a CarShield, which we referenced, because again, they're trying to hold on to those dollars. They don't have any relationship between you here in Newburgh, New York, and their corporate office, wherever they might be.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're just one person out of a million versus, one out of a couple thousand. And in my position, when I am handling those claims that we see on a day-to-day basis, there's times when we might get a claim and the claim is not covered because of the language of the contract. And if that customer, let's say they're in a General Motors vehicle, they're driving a Chevy Equinox, had purchased a GMPP, General Motors Protection Plan, it would have been covered. We have the autonomy to override the coverage and take from the fund to pay for that customer's vehicle because it's in the benefit of the customer, but the Healey organization as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, you guys run the program because you want customers coming back to your store. You want them talking to your people. You want their cars in good working order. One day you want to be able to even take that car back in on a trade and get them into something newer. As their family grows, get them into something bigger. So your incentives as a dealer are completely different. Now, not every dealer looks at the business that way. Yeah. I think you guys are just one of those groups we work with, which is so fun to work with, where you're trying to create this ecosystem that goes from the time the vehicle is purchased through the life cycle of that vehicle, and then have that customer get into the next vehicle. So it's really about a customer for life, as opposed to just making a sale, looking at the terms of an insurance contract. As a former lawyer, it's not any fun to read those contracts.
Yeah, they're long.
They're long.
Yeah, at my wedding, my best man took out one of those contracts and flipped it down, and that was the punchline of the best man speech. But they can be long.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, when your car has an issue, the last thing you want is you're on the service drive and someone says, well, here's page 17 of a contract you've never read, and I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to cover that under your contract. It's going to be a $1,200 invoice that the customer has to pay for. That's not a good conversation. Mm-hmm. So when you're able to structure it and say, hey, this might be, slightly on the border, or we're not entirely sure, but we're going to take care of it because you're a Healey customer, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, and one of my job duties is to be that person. So I get all of the claims that come in for any of our vehicle service contracts. I'll see what the mileage was when the vehicle was sold. What's the current mileage? What did the shop find? Sometimes, let's say the customer is on vacation. I see what the outside shop finds. I'm able to send an inspector out to verify that dealership is at least what they think the repair is correct. Because sometimes, look, we're all human. Sometimes we're wrong.
Yep.
They want to do an entire engine, and you're going to be out of a vehicle for 2 weeks when it might be just a seal or a gasket or something that's a smaller repair. So we have the ability to oversee that versus in an outside company when there's no oversight, and it's just a lot of times they just do the work, or it's just deny. There's no middle ground.
Yeah, and I mean, and I know you guys make really extensive efforts to say, hey, how about we bring that car back and let's see if there's something that we can take a second look at it, because we don't want it to be off the road for that long. Or, hey, maybe you see it the other way where they actually diagnose a problem and you think it's underdiagnosed and you think that the car might need more.
Well, exactly. Yeah. Hey, we're going to put $1,800 to fix it, but we know that the fix is probably, it does need an engine. So why do this fix when we know a day after it's fixed, it's going to come back and you're going to need to replace everything again. And now that claim went from $1,800 to $6,000 when it could have been $5,000 on day one, and also keep the customer out of a loaner or, back in their vehicle faster.
Right. And you might say, well, doesn't every dealer want to do as much work as possible to my car because that's how they make money? Not necessarily the case, because you might be on a different dealer's lot and they have their own customers that they want to take care of. So guess what? If their service drive's backed up, they may have an incentive to say, hey, let's just get Mr. and Mrs. Smith in and out as quickly as we can. We don't even have the time to replace the transmission. It would take 4 weeks to replace the transmission. So that's something that we see working with dealers a bunch, is that they say, hey, this customer didn't buy the vehicle from us. Let's just see if we can get this thing back out on the road and have them go deal with somebody else. So when you're able to work with the dealership you bought it from, being here at the Healeys, I think you guys just have a much more comprehensive experience. You want to make sure your customers are at the front of the line, getting the car fixed, so you don't see them until they want to buy their next car, right?
With VSCs, the service contracts, most people probably think that they can only get it when they buy a car, which is not true. We do have the ability of selling these vehicle service contracts when you've been in the vehicle for 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. Now, it might cost a little bit more, and you'd be paying for it out of pocket completely versus financing it. But you are able to still purchase a VSC. Our process is if Brian Healey has a vehicle that's 3 or 4 years old and I might have 65,000 miles on it, but I decide I love this car and I'm going to keep this car forever, I can't just show up at the dealership, walk into the finance office and buy a VSC. Our process, because we're looking after our own interests, is that we'll get you into the service department. We'll have you pay for a 1-hour diagnostic, the same as we would if you had traded a vehicle in and we're going to put it through the shop, just to make sure there's no underlying existing conditions with the vehicle. If there's no issues and you decide to purchase the VSC, Healey Brothers will eat that 1-hour diag. But if we find that there are some pre-existing conditions that would then void that portion of the VSC, we're going to ask you to do those repairs prior to. Something that not every dealer does. Some dealers, they don't see the whole picture, and they'll just write a contract, and 10 days later, customer comes in for a blown transmission because they never looked at it.
Right.
It's we're looking out after all sides of the spectrum there to protect our end and protect you guys as well.
It's like, look, if you wanted to get life insurance, right? Wouldn't you want to get a medical exam before you got that life insurance?
Yep.
And if something was wrong with you or you had an irregular heartbeat, wouldn't you want to know that you had that issue going into it? And heck, they might say, you know what, you need to get these things cleaned up, you need to get some blood work cleaned up, and then you can get the insurance. As opposed to a world where they say, nope, we're not even going to look at you, you can't get the insurance, or hey, here's a bunch of insurance. Now you don't even know if any of those underlying conditions are diagnosed. So I think what you just described gets back to aligning the incentives and doing what's best for the customer. And I think so much. There's so many misconceptions in this world, especially as it relates to vehicle service contracts, ancillary products. We've only talked about service contracts, but there's also, you lose your key. That's a chance event, right? You go to the amusement park, you're on a roller coaster, you forget the keys in your pocket, that $400 or $500 key or more is now gone. So there's, tire and wheel. We all know how crummy the roads are, especially sometimes in the Hudson Valley. These are things that are just chance occurrences that you can protect yourself against that people use every day. I mean, you could speak to the claims you see, overseeing it for the group. These are real products that people use, and people are happy that they have them.
I'll give you an example. One at our Hyundai dealership. It's a 2018 Hyundai Tucson with a $12,000 sunroof replacement. There's no repairing it. We have to get an outside company and you have to do the entire repair. Now this vehicle has, I believe, 87,000 miles on it. It was purchased as a used vehicle 4 years ago. The customer must have purchased probably a 5-year, 100,000 mile. And that product that they probably financed into their payments, and round numbers, let's say it ran them $2,000, $2,500 to purchase back then, just completely paid for itself fivefold. I mean, a $12,000 claim for a sunroof.
What I want to know is how tan is that customer? Like how often were they using that sunroof? I mean, they must have worn the heck out of that thing.
So I mean, it's not always just an engine and a transmission that are the big things. I mean, now a lot of times it's if the infotainment system goes bad and you purchase one of the higher end VSCs that cover those electronic components. I mean, those are $3,000 plus. And engine 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, if you're going with the diesel, it could be $10,000 plus. Transmissions. I mean, they're big expenses where if you're able to protect your investment, which unfortunately 99% of vehicles are depreciating assets. The day you buy it, even if you get a fantastic deal on it, most likely, unless it's some high-end Porsche or some elite vehicle, it's going to be worth less 2 years from now than it is today. So why then have to put an additional expense when, look, their vehicles, their mechanical breakdowns are going to happen. So you're going to want to protect yourself. And
look, the repairs are getting more expensive. So this isn't a world where, if you look back over the past 3 years, repairs and parts, they've increased 40%. So if we go back 3 years and then look to where they are today, 40% increase.
Yeah.
I'd bet over that same 3-year period, most of us haven't seen our income increase by 40%.
No.
Right? So even if you've been highly successful, your income probably hasn't increased by 40%. So what does that mean? It means that when you purchased that vehicle, you thought the repairs, like you just mentioned, some of those figures, I'd bet those numbers in the future are going to be 10, 20, 30% higher than where they are today.
Yep.
So that vehicle service contract or any of these other products, it's really protecting you against that price going up in the future, because we only have so much control over our income to make that increase. And we need to basically protect ourselves of, hey, what happens if all of these tariffs are stickier than people think? What happens if the parts continue to be more expensive? What happens if there's a part shortage?
The vehicles become more complex.
I mean, and they are becoming more complex. I mean, think about your iPhone. If your iPhone breaks, you take it to the App Store, what do? They replace the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Right?
Yeah.
When you bring your car into the Healey Brothers, you don't replace the whole thing. You have to actually fix it.
Yep.
And the reason why I bring that up is because if they had to actually just fix the little chip inside your iPhone, or they had to fix some other graphics card, the cost would be astronomical. It's such a world where it's just cheaper to give you a new product. Not like that in automotive. So I think it's all in the sense that the customer needs to just think about how to protect themselves.
Yep.
The costs are going up.
I think we covered it there. I mean,
we're good.
I think that we've explained as much as we could without going way too much into depth. I'd say that, look, a lot of customers will probably gain a lot of knowledge from this. I mean, there's even more aspects to vehicle service contracts, but I think this is a good take, and coming along.
Yeah, of course. And the last thing I would say is just say, ask questions. I think you should be asking when you go through that sales process. Make sure you understand what you're getting. Make sure you understand what liabilities you have, because you're going to be super excited. You're getting into a new car. That's great. Now let's make sure that it takes care of you long into the future.
Yeah, or like myself, a week into owning a brand new Tahoe, you curb the rims and you wish it was your wife, so it wasn't me, but of course it was. And I stare at that rim every day. So
even if it was her, it would still be your fault.
I know. So you just protect your asset, because it's never going to be worth what it is today.
Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and follow us at Healey Brothers on all social platforms.